All right. Welcome to the Free Your Mind and the Rest Will Follow podcast, where we discuss all things freeing your mind mentally, spiritually, physically, and financially
In
in
that
that
order.
order. So we are your host. I am Lakeisha. You can call me Coco.
And I am Carmine, and that's what you're going to call me today. But if you know me like that, you can still call me Zolani. Or if you don't, I don't care.
Just don't call you bad names, right?
Don't call me bad names that we like to not say on the show. Don't call me bad names. It's gonna be fine.
So what we got going on today?
What we got going on today, we have a guest.
We got a guest.
This is our first guest with the relaunch of the Free Your Mind and the Rest Will Follow podcast.
That's what's up. You
can see her on the screen that way. That's Melanie, y'all. That's Melanie Fisher.
Yay.
Audience. Okay, well, pretend everybody, if you see this, you clap. I said.
Cue the applause.
So, yes, we have Melanie Fisher here. Also, y'all have heard us mention it a lot. Symmetry Financial. She is from Symmetry Financial Group, also the Pacques agency. I know that because that's the person I be talking about when I tell y'all I got that upline mentorship. So, and we talk almost every day and stuff. So, welcome aboard, Melanie.
Welcome, Melanie.
Yay. So happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Before we get off into letting you tell us about yourself and everything that you have going on, we just want to do a little brief housekeeping and just let everybody know, if you are watching this and you're enjoying the content, please, content. Let's try that again. If you're enjoying the content, we want you to please give us a thumbs up and comment down below. Let us know, what you're thinking about, how you're feeling about the show, and let us know if there's anything else that you want us to, any other topics you want us to cover. And also hit that notification bell so that you can be informed anytime we are uploading a new video. And share. Sharing is caring, right?
Sharing is caring.
All right. Anything else you want to say as far as housekeeping before we dive into everything that Melanie has going on?
I don't know. Follow Instagram pages and stuff.
Okay. Well, we'll probably get to that at the end.
Okay.
We'll say that for the end. And we're gonna put everything in the description.
Well, the house is kept then.
The house is kept. All right. Well, so on to Melanie. How are you today, Melanie?
I'm amazing. Yeah. I'm coming in from Catalina, California right now. So I'm on an island. A lot of people don't even know Catalina exists, and it's a cute little island. It actually feels like Italy here. It's pretty magnificent. But
Catalina, and I've seen people on TV in Catalina.
Yeah.
It always right.
Yeah. The movie Step Brothers.
Yeah. That's the first thing I think of when I think of Catalina.
They made the wine mixer after the movie. So it's a thing now, and it's coming up first. Yeah, I'm going to go to it. We timed it, so we're actually there during it. So it's going to be really fun. Yeah.
Yep.
So funny.
That's my stepbrother-ism. Yep.
Yeah.
You always say all the time, don't you?
Yep.
All right, Melanie. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. Provide us a brief overview of your background and your experience with life insurance, and let us know a little bit about you.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I put on I think it's on my LinkedIn and on some other websites, is first and foremost, I'm an infinite soul having a human experience. So I always like to start there. And then I know, right? That's why I was so excited to be on the podcast, because I know I can be my weird self with you guys and you'll accept it. But yeah, I was raised Mormon, so I had the whole Mormon upbringing. I have 7 brothers and sisters. And I left the Mormon church at age 32. I also left my husband at the time because I just had to figure out who I was. And I felt kind of manipulated into getting married, and the whole thing was a little weird. So I've had about 10 years. Not only did I raise my kids, but I started working. And the first thing I did was I worked for a nonprofit in downtown Sacramento called Health Corps. And I actually worked for Dr. Oz. He created a nonprofit in New York City and in Sacramento. So my first like real job was really cool. But it was a startup, so there was a lot of foundational pieces to lay. So that was interesting. I did that for like 3 or 4 years. And then I just had that entrepreneurial bug, right? Which you guys have. I wanted to work when I want, with who I want, and where I want. And, maybe 10 or 20 years ago, that was more of a tall order, but we can do that today. So I created my own company. So I played around with that for 4 years. I created a video content creation company. And I hired a bunch of spokesmodels. So my clients could pick from 10 spokesmodels, all different shapes, colors, and sizes. And they could, present a product and open up a bag and show the different compartments or whatever it was. So I made a bunch of videos that are on Amazon. They're not glamorous, but it was filling a market need because I knew video was becoming a big deal. So I ran that studio for a while. So I know what it's like to get the technical stuff going. But then what I'm learning about myself is I make friends with a lot of people, and it's hard for me to charge like fair market value. So I was going broke, just like being there for friends. So the lesson I learned is like, yeah, I need to charge what I'm worth because my bills matter too. So I did that for a while, and then I just got kind of burnt out and did a couple other marketing things in between. I have my background is mostly in marketing. And then I met Darren, the guy that I'm dating now, and I really love him. And I loved what he was doing. And he is full speed ahead, creating this incredible agency. And so for about the last year and a half, I've been helping him to develop and organize his agency, and then now building my own agency. And that's how I met Carmine. So Carmine's now part of my agency, but we're also part of Darren's bigger agency. So it's pretty cool because I'm learning how to manage a big agency, which I'm going to teach my team how to do, but I'm also, building my own team, which is cool. And at the end of the day, we're here just to serve families. We get them life insurance. We dig into like the pain that could be caused if they lose their spouse. And then sometimes the wife is financially dependent on the husband, she raised kids or whatever. And it's devastating, when some people pass away. And so we can help people come up with a plan. So I've had to overcome like my shyness and like being afraid to connect with families and people and just like go right into it, ask them those questions and help solve problems, either with life insurance, burial expenses, protecting their mortgage, or we also help, especially the young people, invest for their retirement. So we have really cool accounts that, yes, they're life insurance, but really it's like they're accumulating cash. They're not going to lose it in the stock market. And they're really cool products that we were not taught about in school, right? We could help people become so wealthy by just getting this information out there. So I love that you guys are doing this. I know Carmine's really been leaning into it, but we're here to change lives. So it's an exciting time.
That sounds pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Now, I do know, and for one thing, from what Carmine has said, and then also from the conversation that I got a chance to have with you before, I know that you are big off into mindset. And of course, that's what this show is all about. How does mindset play? What kind of role does that play in you doing what you do with insurance?
Yeah, I love that question. I think the first thing is people have to understand, the way I understand it is the mind is a separate body from our physical bodies, right? So we have the physical body. I also think we have what's called a mental body. And that we were born with, right? It's part of being a human. The mental body got programmed. I call it programming. I think we're almost like computers, right? When we're born, we're just like this open being, right? That can be formatted by the environmental experiences, and then we grow into a human. I think the mind gets formatted by our environment. It gets formatted by our parents, right? And the TV or whatever we're being exposed to. And I think as we get older and we awaken to how this life experience really works, I start to realize that my mind is something malleable, right? It's something I can change. And if I'm getting a lot of negative thoughts, like, insecurity, jealousy, doubt, I know that there's something about my mindset that happened that triggered an emotion, and the emotion is uncomfortable. And then that would eventually turn into creating a life that's uncomfortable. I take action on decisions that weren't really in alignment with what I really know my truth is. So sometimes if I'm feeling an uncomfortable emotion, I have to go back to the mindset. I'm like, okay, where in my mind did I come up with a thought where I wasn't good enough, or, where I was weak or something? And then I'm like, I am good enough. I am strong. So you have to catch yourself because we're rewriting the program, right? We're rewriting our minds as we awaken. And a lot of adults, I swear, they live and die and they never awaken to this. And it's sad. But we're having this conversation because you guys are obviously aware mindset will change your life dramatically. You just have to be aware of what's happening and reprogram it. And it takes effort. It's more of like a mental effort. It also takes strength and courage because we're going against sometimes what our parents taught us, or education, or society. And we have to like really stand in our own truth and power. And again, a lot of people never get to that point. But if we're going to transform our lives and call in abundance and create really great things that are going to change multiple people's lives, then we have to change ourselves. And yeah, it totally starts with addressing how we're thinking. And if it's toxic and negative, don't lie to yourself. Be real that that's happening, and just be glad that you're catching it and that you can rewrite it. And I think meditation or prayer is super important because that's when you slow down all the chatter of life, and then you get clear about what's coming in and how your mind is interpreting that energy. And then once you see something dysfunctional or toxic, you shift it. But you can't do that if you're distracted all day, or you can't do that if you think you're already right and you already know everything. You're not going to change.
Yep,
And that's a
agree
word.
with that. And that's a word.
Right?
That's a word.
Yes, I definitely agree with all of that. And I would like to ask, I guess, because you mentioned meditation. And how often do you meditate?
So I'm pretty much meditating every day, almost every day. 10, 15 minutes is all I do. I've really been researching and learning about mudras, and mudras are different hand symbols. So I start with a mudra like this, where you put your fingers together and then your thumbs together, and you put it in front of your heart. So I go through a series of different things. So I start with may love pour through my soul, and light flower in my heart. And then this is another mudra, and I put it in front of my belly, and it says, may warmth radiate in my belly. And then this one, you grab your pinky, and may purity shimmer through my bones. So I have like this prayer that I do every day, and it just calls in strength and purification. And one of them, because of symmetry, now that I'm helping clients, but I'm also helping agents. My new one that I created myself, it kind of looks like an S, but I think of the client's name or the agent's name, or if it's in the morning, I'm just setting up my day. I said, my clients and agents, I see you. And then the middle part is I hear you. And then I share your heart. And so what I do is I just bring all my fingers together and just feel, unified. So that's kind of my meditation. It's a series of mudras, and then I sit in silence. I don't do the same formula every day, but I do try to really make it clear that I want to connect with my clients. I want to see, hear, and feel them and my agents. And and then I'll sit in silence. If I really feel there's a lot going on and I'm unsure, the energy is just uncomfortable. If I have drama, going on with someone or something, then I will sit and get clear about what the energy is about. What's their own issues, their own projection? Do I deserve the criticism or whatever negativity I'm discovering is being said about me, which happens sometimes. And then I own my own power, and I call back my power, because sometimes it really is their issue. Oftentimes, sometimes it reveals things about myself, right? That I need to, that it's good for me to be aware of. So yes, the silence of meditation kind of helps me get clarity and untangle the things that come up in life. Yeah. So pretty much daily. Yeah. In Symmetry, we recommend this book called Miracle Morning. And I recommend that to anybody hearing this. Basically, it's like you spend a little bit of time in prayer. You spend they say recommend reading at least 10 pages a day, and then exercising 10, 15 minutes a day. So there's like 3 or 4 things. If you do it every day, you kind of have a nice blueprint for the whole day to unfold. So that's another thing we recommend for agents. But yeah, I read that and I implement the Miracle Morning stuff too.
What was the name of that book again?
It's like,
did you say?
Miracle Morning. It's by Hal Elrod. Yeah. It's one of those books, like if you don't read any other books, but you read and implement this one, your life will change because it's helping you create a repeated healthy pattern, which will affect the rest of the day, which will affect your whole life.
She is looking up.
Yeah.
Y'all.
I'm looking it up. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. That's right up my alley.
Yeah. Perfect.
What I got. So, what initially attracted you to the field of life insurance? What made that so attractive?
Right. I got to be totally honest. The thing that appealed to me was the lifestyle around this career. You working from your laptop anywhere you want. I'm very adventurous. I love traveling, and I knew with this career I could live anywhere as long as there's Wi-Fi. I also like the part of me that does love people, and I love helping people. And that excites me to think of what a big impact we can have on families' lives. And I like self-development and growth. And this also helps with that because I'm continually being asked to get outside of my comfort zone. So I know I'm growing. And this is a self-development company that happens to sell life insurance. And that sounds goofy, but it's true. Because if you're not doing this self-development, you won't succeed. Because there's something mysterious that happens. It really forces you to look at your own stuff, your own shadows, because we don't have a boss. We don't really have anyone to blame. There's a couple predictable patterns I've seen where people blame our lead system or they blame the person that recruited them. And that pretty much happens to a lot of people because they're looking for something to blame, right? But the ones that are successful, they lean into the discomfort. They look into the mirror and realize I'm the one that's going to get me to where I want to go. So it's been calling me to be a better person for sure. So I don't know if that answers the question. I wasn't really drawn to life insurance specifically, but it complements a lot of the areas of growth that I was looking for. And I can make money. And hold on. Okay.
Bring your basket. Just bring it back.
Okay. He's heading to the beach. So
sounds good. We need to go to the beach. We ain't been to the beach in a long
We
time.
need to go to the beach.
you guys are due.
We're overdue, actually.
Overdue. Yeah. Well, let's make that happen.
It's been 2 years.
Yeah. You're definitely due.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Melanie, what would you say are some of the common misconceptions or myths surrounding life insurance that you often encounter?
Oh, yeah. Let's open it up.
I love that question. Well, the only impression I had of life insurance agents was from movies, right? Just some like stuffy guy wearing a suit going door to door bugging his neighbors, right? I don't know, it was like a 1950s kind of thing.
That's what I always thought of when I used to think of
Yeah.
life insurance. Some guy with a briefcase going knocking on doors.
Just so irritating. Yes, you've already asked me about life insurance. Leave me alone. That's kind of what I thought. It's so much more than that, especially with Quility, which is Symmetry's part of Quility. They have innovated this whole industry. They have completely digitized every aspect of it. They're 2 or 3 years ahead of their competitors. So they know that old stuffy vision of somebody like trying to push that in someone's face is over. So they're working on a lot of technology where clients will contact us. where we can do 7-minute applications, get someone $1 million in coverage in 7 minutes. This all was completely unheard of. Not that long ago, they were faxing applications to carriers. It's a very old school industry. These insurance carriers a lot of them are older than banks. They have massive cash reserves. Banks operate with debt. Insurance companies operate with massive cash reserves. So it's kind of exciting to be part of the industry. But again, like I said, it's very old school in that they do things like really outdated. So we're taking these like dinosaur companies and organizations and we're marrying them with our high-tech innovative approach. So it's not an easy task, but the founders of our company are totally dedicated to like being innovative and future oriented. So they've almost like Uberized the insurance industry, except unlike Uber, where you're the one that has to do the work to make the money, you can start building teams and create residuals. If you put your head down for 3 to 5 years, you can totally become financially independent. Like it's available. There's a pathway to making a lot of money in the insurance industry. And it's not just building a team. In Symmetry, not only do we sell life insurance, but you can teach yourself more and more advanced products and you can start selling annuities. And Darren and I just went to Florida for the F&G trip, and we met people that are making $500,000-$600,000 a year just selling annuities. A lot of them do podcasts or TV shows, or there's always another component where they get their clients in the door. Some of them have some really cool like niches that they go after, and they make a great income just doing annuities. So there's a couple paths here that are just transformative, and this is not like a normal job where you're like, okay, I get a raise every couple of years or whatever. No, if you put your head down, you can get like massive cash income. I mean, you're business owners, right? So it's a little bit to get it up and running for sure, because a lot of us are starting out with either an employee mindset or you really have to have a business mindset because you have to invest in it and you make money and you have to manage your business. But it's all doable. And what's cool about our agency is I have done everything I could to get my people in front of people that are doing it, and they're doing it well. And basically, you just have to replicate their formula. So, yeah.
That's a word.
And
I just say
that's
a word. And that's a word.
That's Well, and I know, Carmine, I know you're really creative, right? And I don't think creative people get really perked up when they hear about the life insurance industry, because I didn't. But what's cool is, I do like to think in terms of spirituality, but and I'm figuring this out, but like money does make life easier. That is the game we're playing on this planet. And how much more creative can you be with 20 grand, 30 grand coming in every month? It magnifies people's creativity. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. Say it again.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was saying I can get creative with how I can spend the money. Yeah.
Exactly. Which is another layer of challenge on the journey, because when you start making money, it's highly distracting. Right.
I think, and on another note, I think it's also, that's the fun part about it, is just being creative and finding different ways how you can present, your life insurance to people, how you can market it, how you can just communicate with people. So, whether it's, something that you want to do on a platform like this, like on YouTube or, social media, or being creative, in ways to get to people at networking and things like that. So, you find ways to put your creativity into it and make it interesting. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're a business owner, so you have a lot of opportunities to be creative, but you got to make sure you're still serving families and your agents, because it's the infinity symbol. As long as I'm in service to them, it'll come back to me. As long as I'm in service to them, it'll come back to me. And sometimes my creativity, that's what I want to do all day. But that is not going to give 200 grand to somebody that just lost her husband. That's like, I need to bring it back to focus a lot and continue to help these families, because what we do is very real, very important. and it changes lives. It's easy to get distracted. So my creativity now just kind of sprinkles the business. It's not like my main focus, even though that is the main superpower I bring to the table is creativity. I know I got to be out of my comfort zone and get good at serving families because they need what we do. There's not enough agents. Like we have enough families to go around. We could recruit all day, every day, and it still have families that need to be served. Yeah.
Agree with that.
Definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm just really brainstorming this thing here. That's what it's about. It's almost like a brainstorming podcast, you know?
Yes.
What do you think some of the common myths and misconceptions are?
Oh yeah, I did.
We asked that.
So
you gotta ask something else now.
Oh, okay.
well, I don't know if I really addressed. Yeah, well, I just think kind of the stuffy, insurance salesperson is not what we're about at all.
I sure did.
I asked it.
You asked that. Okay.
Yeah.
She did.
Okay. See, that's
It's
why
okay.
we gotta put our names.
We
next
got
to the questions,
ADHD
okay?
heads here.
Both of you.
Okay.
Me worse.
And I may or may not edit this part out because we are creative, or I may put it in there for bloopers.
There you go.
What's the next question?
What's Carmen's question?
We don't remember everything. We have questions typed up.
That's great.
Read the next question.
It's a lot of questions on
there.
here.
Have to ask all the questions. These are just things that come up in the conversation.
Okay.
So.
Well, all right.
We gonna edit all that out.
Or can I ask you questions?
You can ask.
Oh, okay.
Question.
Well, we went to the boot camp, so I just want to know what was that all?
Well, yeah, we spent, of course, first few hours doing some dials, and of course, I called you for reinforcement.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I still got a weird thing about reeling them in with the dials, but it was also cool because you got to be in an environment with some professionals. Like they were out there.
Right.
There was a couple people in there set I think somebody set 17 appointments in that session.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's awesome.
So
set 17 appointments yesterday?
Yeah.
While you were there?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they were going for a record. They won $40.
That's awesome.
Ian Graham was handing out cash for who made the most dials and set the most appointments.
$40. That's cool.
But they probably gonna make a whole lot more money and provide a lot more money for their clients. I don't know how many people they're gonna book off of that, but they seem pretty good at it. I was sitting next to another young lady who is also new, and she is killing the game. If I would have, her name was Courtney. I don't remember her last name though, but she's killing the game. She started at the same time as me, and I think that's when she got contracted. But she started writing last week and wrote about $8,000 worth.
Yeah. Yeah, the money's there. It just takes some, you have to invest in leads. So it takes some to get it going, and keeping the momentum going is really important because, some of the leads will build from this week, will build upon next week or the following week. And then once the ball's rolling, then you got appointments popping as long as you stay on it. But it's a really cool business. Yeah. And it's certainly not for everybody. Some people need to be told what to do. They still need a boss, so, and that's a hard thing for some people to face. If they can't, reset the mindset, right? And that's why I talk very openly about mindset. I also talk about your daily schedule and your distractions. Like it's so much more than just helping families. You got to look at many areas of your life. It's not a 9 to 5. It's just like, how is this going to fit the life that you want? Some people really want to be there for their kids and coach the teams. And that's awesome. And I love that. It's just, how do you balance it all? And everybody finds their own little pattern, their own formula. And that's the beauty and the challenge of this business. Yeah. It's pretty cool though. I like the freedom.
Could you share like some real life examples of, or either some stories that just like highlight the importance of life insurance and how it's benefited some of the families that you know of?
Yeah. Well, there was one guy in not our agency, but in the business. He told a story that I just thought was really interesting. His dad died and they didn't have life insurance, or it had just lapsed, and they were just devastated. And the mom was clearing out the office, threw a bunch of papers in the trash, and that she was scrambling to figure out her next move in the house and what to do. I think they had some savings, but she felt like a little like twinge of curiosity to go back to the trash and just check over the papers and see if there was anything in there. And thank God she did that. She went back to the trash and shuffled through it and found an accidental policy. And he did die in an accident. He didn't recover from injuries from a slip and fall. And sure enough, he had, I think it was a $500,000 accidental policy. And usually those are very, very inexpensive when we throw them onto people's programs because they're good to have. You get a big face amount, and it is the number 3 leading cause of death. But I think a lot of people think they don't pay out. But that accidental policy made it so she could stay in the home, pay off the home. Totally transformed her life in the best way. And to think she almost threw it away, that kind of stuff happens a lot.
Wow,
that's
that was the universe,
right.
to that trash.
Oh. And even just helping, sweet old couples, and they get $10,000 or $20,000. It's what a peace of mind that gives them. Their kids, like if I died, my 18-year-old daughter and my 21-year-old son, they could barely come up with something to bury me, right? They'd have to do a GoFundMe, and even 10 grand, 20 grand, right? It's all you need sometimes. And these people, as they get older, they put off getting coverage, and that's all they qualify for. But thank God they can get that, that's just one less thing that the family needs to figure out. So there is definitely a need for what we do. I'm really excited to sell more of the IULs, these investment accounts, because when you do the math on those, getting young people going on those, you're like, oh, I just helped you have 500 grand when you're 65 years old, there's, so that kid that I signed up for an IUL when they're 65 is in a whole different boat than the average person that's 65 that didn't do anything. It's totally different timelines emerge. That's what I'm kind of goofy with my clients. Sometimes I say, your future self will thank me for taking care of this. So I'm the little fairy from the future coming here to help you now. And so you'll have a better timeline, less stress, So I love what we do. It's important. But to get someone's head wrapped around all that in like the first few minutes on the phone or presenting it properly, it takes a bit of finessing and training to get good at it. But it's doable, totally doable. Got to stay at it.
So with that, now I've been looking at some stats that are actually on my own website from Symmetry, shameless plug, communiverseinsurancegroup.com. But there's a stat, something like at least 90% of people know the importance of life insurance. So that's most people, right? But a lot of people are scared of it. With your experience, what makes people so scared of life insurance?
There's a lot of misinformation, first of all. As much as I love Dave Ramsey, he helped me get out of it. Go to Dave Ramsey. As much as I love people out there like him who do bring in a lot of truth that is helpful, there's just a lot of misinformation, especially around whole life. There is a space where whole life really is the best solution for someone. What was the question again?
How I'm supposed to remember that?
Yeah, I was like, was it
life insurance so scary to a lot of people?
Scary. Okay. Yeah, it's like, was it misinformation? And then I think a lot of people are dealing, with scarcity around their funds, which I get that. And I think a lot of people think they're going to outlive it, and sometimes they do, but we don't know that. Just have a plan in place. We don't know the day we're going to check out. And especially if you have people financially dependent on you, like think about them. Yes, you're gone. Who knows what if the soul's going to care or not? I feel like it will, and it does. Especially if you love your family and your kids, right? So get over your irrational fear. You're not immortal, and get it taken care of.
It's about if you care for them right now.
Yeah.
You have a connection to your family, so I would imagine that you care about their well-being, and anything can happen right now. So why not have something in place?
Why not have
Yeah.
something in place?
I think people just think they're not going to die.
Yeah, one sad story that I had someone tell me the other week. So one of my Lyft passengers, she saw my car. She was, oh, you do life insurance? Yeah, I do that. So she started telling me about her brother, who young guy, he was in his 20s, she's 23, and he suddenly died. And nobody had life insurance. He didn't have any. Their parents don't have any. So they had to do GoFundMe's. They had to. She was saving up money for her car. She had to use all that money to pay for the funeral, and it was a pretty pricey funeral. I don't know what people think funerals cost, but maybe they think of like what the casket costs. They don't think about the whole service.
It's a lot.
The casket is expensive.
Yeah, the casket, but they just think about that, and it's like, yeah, the whole service. If you want something decent, it's gonna run you about $20,000 at least.
Oh, for sure, minimum. Yeah. Well, so people just they don't know the cost. They don't know when they're going to go. And then another major problem is people are too busy. They don't want to stop and slow their lives down to fill out a 20-30 minute application sometimes. It's like, so that's another barrier, is like, you need to do this today, not tomorrow. So people just don't seem to have an urgency around it unless they've just lost their brother or something. And it's like, do it now so you don't have to scramble. And the price gets way higher as we get older. So that's another barrier. It's like, we got to help people do it now.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I get people that, instantly they're like, how much is this going to cost? Like, I don't know. We got we got to sit down. Like, this is an important lifelong decision that you want to fit your needs as an individual. It's not as easy as, okay, here's a quick price. It's $5 a month. But maybe that's what, like, a lot of the advertisement kind of makes people think, because you see those ads all the time, and they're like, yeah, get a $8 million policy in 2 minutes for $8.
Not helping the cause. Yeah, that's true when you're 20 and you have no medications.
Yeah, a small fine print, and then people, they hit me up and they're like 62 and got a litany of health issues, and like, yeah, they said I can get this, and then like, let's dig a little deeper for you.
Yeah, let's get real. Yeah, part of what we do is educating people, and it's delivering uncomfortable truths. But again, something is better than nothing. You are on my radar. I do work for multiple companies. I'm not just like State Farm or something. I represent multiple. So if you think you need to shop around and do this later, you're not going to do it, and you don't have the resources and the knowledge that I have. I've been poring over this stuff every day for a couple of years now. So sometimes I have to remind them of that. I don't say I'm the expert, but hey, if it was that easy to do, then why haven't you done it yet? So yeah, there's some barriers, right? It's true.
Are you doing your AO?
I'm doing my me,
and I hope.
But it's but AO has you get connected to the story, and makes you you feel less like you have to be on the podcast like this, and it's the Earl Nightingale show. Well, no, Earl Nightingale is cool, but somebody with an old name from the 50s or something. I don't know. And they used to
Yeah.
hey, Bob. I don't know. My impressions are horrible.
Go ahead.
Hey, Bob.
I don't know. That's always the go-to name when you want to make fun of something. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Anybody named Bob, Robert, or Bobby, or any of that.
We love you, Bob. Yeah. It is an interesting thing, though.
You asked me, was I channeling my inner AO? And
I mean, I was hoping you was gonna say yeah, and then you showed them, and I mean,
Oh, okay. Shouts out
to
to Anthony O'Neill and his podcast as well.
Yes. So, you got any questions to ask?
I literally was just in the mind because you did
and
then you was like, oh, I thought you were coming up.
Well, I didn't want to like interrupt your thoughts or
No,
anything.
that's a word.
All right. Well,
I can expound a little bit on how the journey starts and how people can get going if they're interested.
How can people get started if they are interested?
Okay, good. Well, so what I use is workinsurancenow.com. It goes to Darren's Pacques landing page. That's the name of the agency that we're part of. We are based out of Idaho, but we have people from all over the country. And what's cool about what we're doing is anybody can do it. You do have to be licensed. So there's some steps, right? You got to pass the state exam. But our team is really cool. And this is part of what I've helped to create. And you guys are going to continue to create, but it's a culture of really supporting each other, because there are agencies within agencies, and some people get kind of tribal around their agency. And I've seen this in other IMOs where it's this competitive thing. I take my cues from, I guess, God or the universe and nature. Nature works together to create beautiful things. And our agency has really been dedicated to creating harmonious relationships with everybody, regardless of whatever agencies within our agency. And I think that's a big part of why it's exciting to build in our groups, because not only are we going to help each other in our own small team, but we've created this culture where we support each other beyond our agencies. So you don't just have access to our team, but you'll have access to a couple hundred people. And again, we're just really working to create an environment where that's normal, it's accepted. We're here to support each other and not be in competition with each other. And I think that's what really makes us stand out. And it's also part of why I'm excited about this, because I don't want to work in an organization where, it's that negativity. Nothing wrong with some friendly competition. That's fun. But it's really exciting to see each other do well. And I want to be part of that. I want to continue to create that. I don't want to go and work for another company where that's not the case, which is most organizations. So I think that's what's exciting about what we're doing. Yes, we're all independent business owners, but yes, we also get to contribute to a bigger organization that's happening, and no one is telling us how to do it. We do it how we see fit. And the way I see it is to get along together, to create harmonious relationships, and to support each other. It's basically the dream job, right? That I've always wanted. And it's my dream job, and it's now here because we are actively creating that. And there isn't resistance other than figuring out how to work with different personality types and all that. But it's not like we have a boss or a board, even though there is a board to quality and symmetry. But again, we're independent business owners within that. So we still have a lot of control over how we create our companies and the culture. And so I think that's what's exciting. So new agents get to be plugged into something that I haven't seen exist before. And if we don't like an aspect of it, then it's well, what do we need to do to change? We get to change. And once someone gets licensed on the practical level, I think it takes about 90 days from licensing to really wrap your head around the industry, really wrap your head around the symmetry, proven formula, how to make the dial. And I didn't even realize this, but some of the scripts they recommend following it word for word. And that's because it works. And yeah, you can scramble and try other things, or you can do what works and follow the exact formula. So yeah, I'd say it's about 90 days to like really get that momentum and get the ball rolling, and to like use the income from your sales to reinvest. And then you can start, moving money around so it works for you. But yeah, if you keep your head down, once you know the business for 2 to 3 years, you can really create a pretty incredible financial future for yourself. It's exciting.
That's a word.
That is a word.
But I'm still within like that 60 days. So
I know. Yeah.
It's like kind of, which the first 30 days is chaotic on a whole different level, because you're still kind of
totally
hoarding, getting some of the basic things out of the way. Now I'm kind of like, okay, I'm starting to figure and piece things out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna see what the next month looks like when I get outside of those 90 days. But I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not perfectly 90 days, but yeah, I'd say you're about in that 30-60 mark. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean, yeah, some people, they take off like, day one, but everybody's got different experiences too. Some people, they come from other insurance agencies, or they come from other sales agent or sales organizations as well. So everybody's got different experiences. I've heard of some people where maybe that first year that it took them to get adjusted, and then next thing you know, they're some like millionaire or something, or helping other people.
They just take off. Yeah, everybody's story is different.
If I write you $1 million policy, you're kind of a millionaire now. Not like with flow, but you got $1 million attached to you.
You just got to die. That little thing, but yeah. Well, I have to tell that to clients too. It's like, yeah, I don't have any time, but I do need this. It's like, okay, well, when you got your loan for $400,000, didn't that take a little bit of time and some emails and so you're not even going to give me 5 minutes, and we're talking about 400 grand, so sometimes you have to remind people we're talking about a lot of money, and they don't just like give this out. So, but yeah.
When you put it like that,
it's a lot.
Mortgage done. That's months of work for mortgage. You sit with us for, the initial call and the appointment, about an hour tops.
Yeah.
And
that just remind people.
Come on, people.
Exactly.
Let's get real about protecting your families. That's what it's all about in the name of the game. To make sure that your families don't have to try to do the GoFundMe or be on the corner of Barker Cypress. That's the example to say.
Because that's where I always see them at. There is always somebody on Barker Cypress, and they're with a sign, and it's always a very sad scene to see that, where they're standing there with a sign, or they're coming up to you, in your car, and they're trying to get a donation because their loved one has passed away and they need to pay for it. So it's pretty much every day we see somebody on that corner. That's the corner to do that at, and it's
preventable.
I don't want to be in that position,
No, and it's preventable
funds, because I know how it can be. So
yeah. Well, and I think like we were talking about before, that's like prayer, meditation. If you slow down your life, you do start to think of ways to improve your life. You do start to think of things. Yeah, that is something I need to do. Right. And just so many people, they don't slow down to get a clear mindset, to get clear. Because when you unpack a lot of these things with these clients, they do need it. It's just like, I wouldn't have to try to convince you so much if you would slow down and be present with your life and realize, okay, what path do I want to go down? And, there are ways to create a future that is wonderful by the actions we take today. And if people won't slow down and get clear and see that, then it creates a tough life. You know, it's kind of like, I think it's a metaphor or it's in the Bible or something where the guy's like waiting for God to come save him. And then some guy, there's like a great flood and some guy with a boat comes by and he's like, do you want me to rescue you? And he's like standing on a roof and the guy's like, no, I'm waiting for God. And he's like, okay, weird. Okay. Another one comes by with a boat and a raft. They're like, can I help you? And the guy's like, no, I'm waiting for God. And I mean, you can see where this is going. The point is, God works through people. You know, he might be working through this podcast, right? To show people, hey, there's a timeline where you can create a career where you can be free and it's different and it takes a little bit to get it up and running. But hello, is this not the answer to people's prayers? Probably. Not everybody's going to do anything about it though. And that's on them. But I love to know I lived a life where I created opportunity, not only for myself where I took it, but opportunities for others. So that's why I love this podcast. When I saw Carmen was doing this and then I got to see it with Keisha, I was like, this is awesome. Let's keep doing it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She said, this is awesome. And that's a word.
That's a word.
And the word is good.
Oh, yeah. No, what you said, it reminded me of, and I said I wasn't really going to tell this story. I told him, but I wasn't going to really tell it like to everybody, but I'm going to share it.
You should.
It just, what you said reminded me of that. But, you know, as he's probably told you, I work for a company developing leads for different types of insurance. So life insurance is one of them. But there was one particular person that I called, and, you know, I get yelled at all day.
Oh.
Out, called everything.
Oh.
But there was one particular man, and he was just really kind of rude at first, you know, and he was kind of short with me and everything. But I kept, you know, giving him redirects. And once he saw that I was giving him these redirects and they were making sense to him, he was like, let me ask you something. He was like, do you like your job? And I was like, yeah, I like it. I like helping people. He was like, well, I'm just asking you this because, you know, I had to ask people that, you know, now he said that he was in the hospital, I guess a couple of days prior to that. And there was a girl who, one of the workers came in to assist him and she just seemed like she was just unhappy. And he asked her the same thing. Did she like her job? And she really didn't have much to say, but he told me, he said, well, I asked you that because, he was like, this is not all that you're supposed to be doing right now. He was like, you're supposed to be a motivational speaker. And you're supposed to be out here. He was like, and this isn't, I said, you know what? I needed to hear that. He was like, well, I'm not telling you this. This is a word from the almighty universe. And
oh my God.
Right now, you need to be out there, you know, if in helping people, you need to be a speaker and really speaking life into people. And he was like, but it's good that you like, you know, what you're doing now. I was like, yeah, I do like it. I enjoy helping people. I love, you know, making a difference in people's lives. He was like, okay. He was like, well, then do it for that reason. He was like, but just know that there's something even bigger than what you're doing right here out here for you. And you're going to be a speaker. And he said, oh my God, don't forget that. Remember that. He said, I'm 72 years old and I should have been doing what I was supposed to be doing a long time ago. And I'm telling you because you still have time. So you do it. And, you know, and so like, I'm literally tearing up while he's telling me this and I'm writing down. I showed Carmine the piece of paper. I had like a little sticky note and I'm just writing down what the man's telling me because I'm like, I can't believe this. And it was just,
because you know it's true.
And it was like right at the time we were like, okay, we're going to do this podcast, you know, or whatever. And so it just kind of all came together. And I really felt like, okay, well then this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And he ended up, you know, I got the sale from him, so it was good. And, you know, get him to the agent and everything. So, and the only reason why he was, you know, going to let me get him to the agent and everything was because he told me that he had a word for me. And he was like, you know, I felt like you needed to hear that. He was like, so yeah, go ahead and get me over there to him. But he told me that whole thing. He talked to me for about a good 10 minutes. And yeah, I was tearing up and everything, but it just made me feel good to know that what I'm doing is helping people. Cause I know a lot of the times people can get, you know, upset, angry or whatever you're calling them. And, you know, they might not feel like talking at the moment or they don't feel like talking about that or whatever the case is. But it made me feel just good inside, gave me that good, warm, cozy feeling to know that not only did I help him, but he told me something about myself that I was already feeling anyway, and something that I needed to hear. And I knew that this is the gateway. This is the opening door for everything that's supposed to come, everything that's going to follow. So yeah, it made me think of that.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that indeed is a word.
The word.
The words that he had for you, he was a vessel.
Exactly.
He actually said that.
I was seeing that.
Said that. He said, I'm a vessel. He said, I'm just a vessel, and I'm telling you, this is not my words. He was like, the universe, this is from the universe. And I was just like, oh, wow. And it's just crazy because we were literally talking about all of this stuff. I was just thinking about all of that. And I was like, that's the confirmation that I need. So now I got to free my mind.
Yeah.
So I can make sure that, I am also that vessel for other people as well, and pass on those blessings. So yeah.
But good job receiving it too, because think of how many good things come to people and they don't really have their heart open enough to know that this is true. Like, this is in alignment. I mean, you were brought to tears because your soul's like, yes, thank you. She needed it reflected back to her because she's not seeing it enough herself. And I'm here to reflect that back to both of you guys. Keep at it. The world needs the gifts that you have and the messages that you guys bring in. I'm just so excited to support you guys in whatever way I can. Symmetry is really cool. I mean, who knows how many things are going to pop up in our lives that will provide a platform of leadership and teaching, but Symmetry absolutely provides that, because you're going to help people get their finances in order, not only agents through a career, but helping agents. I mean, that is going to ease up all these people so they can be the best creative expression of themselves. And you're going to show people how to do that. So yeah, here we are in the journey doing it for ourselves in our own, finances and families, but the path is here. And yeah, it takes courage, right? Keep leaning into it. Yeah. Exciting time.
Courageous.
Gotta be courageous.
Or crazy.
Crazy.
Maybe a little bit of both. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's, sometimes people may see you as that if, you just go out on a limb and you're like, hey, I'm going to start this. And why would you want to do that? You're going to leave this cushy job.
Predictable income is nice. Yeah.
But sometimes you want to do something more impactful. You want to more than just a robot.
Whatever I do, I always make sure I want to be impactful when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Also have clear intent on why I'm doing it. If you have good intent and you really put your your mind into it and do something that is going to benefit others as well as yourself, then I don't see any reason why you can't succeed in it.
Yeah. You will be successful.
Finding ways to help people, basically.
Yeah.
Finding ways to help people.
And what better way to help somebody than to provide them with some financial security.
Exactly.
So speaking of financial security, well, before I get into that, we got our little midway point of housekeeping. For those who may have missed the point earlier, we want you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
Pick up that phone, you like,
subscribe. Yeah. As if you're watching it on YouTube. This thing may end up on other platforms as well, but subscribe, hit the thumbs up,
a like
button, whatever comments. It is, put it in your playlist. Comments. Tell everybody about it. Tell everybody about this show. That's only if you found value in this. If you didn't, oh, dag nabbit, that light went out, didn't it? Oh, well.
That's fine. But anyways,
halfway through the show, we ain't got no blue light in the back. Drop the comments. Let
us know how you're liking the show. And again, suggestions on some things that you want us to hit on the show. And also, if you are wanting to be a guest and you have something that you are doing, something that you're involved in, you have a business or an event or anything going on, and you would like to come on the show and talk about it, then hit us up and let us know. Also, we do have a Facebook page that we're going to start back uploading these videos to as well. So you'll be able to follow us on our Facebook page, which is also Free Your Mind and the Rest Will Follow podcast.
Yep.
All right, stepbrother. So other than that, I did want to ask a question though, because earlier you were talking about how the insurance companies, they're operating off of, very old traditions and things like that, and trying to marry that into like the new technology and things like that. So I was gonna ask, where's that question at? Oh yeah. So how do you stay up to date with like all of those latest trends in technology and things like that?
Oh, that's a good question. I just commit to learning. I make it part of my weekly routine. There's a lot of things to learn. I want to learn the products better, even though we need to help people right away, because some of our basic products you can learn, but yeah, so always learning the technology. You just kind of have to lean into it. And yeah, it is a little frustrating. And then there are new softwares and new things that come out all the time. I'm now getting hit up with some like recruiting software where they do auto texts and all that, and that's great. And they have a monthly thing. But what I'm finding is the people that just consistently focus on service to agents and service to clients. It's really about connecting with them, figuring out what their needs are, presenting options, and then taking the application. I mean, that is the bare bones formula. And if you stick to that and just commit to get good at that, then you're going to have ideas on what technology will complement that process. And it'll be worth it to dive into it. We have one software called Switchboard, which I think is great. Carmine's kind of leaned into that and using that. There's a learning curve.
All the time, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's no joke, but it's cool. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you just know it really is about helping clients, and the technology can complement what you're doing, but you really just need to connect with them and dig into what it is they need. And
I even connected Switchboard to the Communiverse Insurance Group Facebook page, and somebody like posted a comment they wrote on the wall, and I got a notification from Switchboard. Like it's all on it.
That's weird.
Technology.
All connected.
Yeah. Now that person was a scammer, but
Oh, there's a lot of that.
It was cool that I got the information. I thought it was like a hit on the website or somebody I contacted. I was like, oh, okay. All that technology is built in. So even if you use any of these different platforms, they're no longer separate platforms. Hey, y'all. My name is Carmine. I'm a licensed life insurance agent, and today I want to talk to you about life insurance with return of premium. This policy provides you with both protection and financial benefits. Here's how it works. You pay your monthly premiums just like any other life insurance. If you pass away during the term of the policy, your beneficiaries will receive a tax-free death benefit payout. But if you outlive the policy, all of your premiums will be returned to you tax-free. That means you'll receive every dollar back that you put into the policy plus interest, which can be a significant financial benefit. It's a smart investment for your future and peace of mind for your family. Life insurance with return of premiums is a great option if you want protection of life insurance, but also want to invest in your future. You can use the return policy to supplement your retirement, pay off debt, or fund other financial goals. If you're interested in learning more about life insurance with return of premiums, I'm here to help. Just contact me, inbox me, and we'll discuss more.
That's pretty cool.
Is that Quility exclusive? Like, we're the only ones that got that?
Yes and no. The software is out there in other forms. Quility is building upon it and starting to unify it with other aspects of the business, which is really cool. Connecting it with our leads and that sort of thing. Quility is awesome because of our proprietary products too. We didn't really talk about that, but we do have the SPLA. We have one that's a 7-minute application. We have another one that's about to come out that does like 12 layers of underwriting. So if somebody's unhealthy, they can actually go deep into approving a lot of people. That's also a quick application.
So it's an equivalent somewhat to SBLI.
Yep. That one's going to be great.
Let me tell y'all something for anybody who's watching. If you are healthy. You don't do any smoking or jumping out of airplanes and stuff. We probably gonna go for that SBLI first. And
It's cheap.
it is instant decision. It's like, bam, you put in just us going to put in the quote. It automatically is part of the application. And that is also what is built into communiverseinsurancegroup.com when you request a quote.
Yes.
But if not, we like Melanie said, we work with what 20, 30, 40, keep counting them, however many different carriers.
A bunch.
Some coverage for you. Don't think it's like, okay, I went to the one guy and I couldn't get coverage or it was too expensive. Like, no, we got flexibility.
Totally. We're interviewing and we're going to have a new girl on our team that works for another IMO, and she said about half of her applications get declined. They only have a couple products. I'm like, you got to switch over to our team. You need more products. You're not helping these families. What a waste of time.
We got to do to bring over. Let's bring over.
Oh, I'm working on it. Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah. So it's necessary. But at the end of the day, if technology intimidates somebody, I mean, we've got people all shapes and sizes and ages. If technology is not your thing and, you just weren't raised with it, your brain didn't grow with technology like older people a lot of times, that's okay. Again, at the end of the day, if you can connect with people, call them, dig into what they need, you can do this business. Yes, there's the online applications. You need to know how to do some basic tech stuff. But like what you're doing, Carmine, not everybody's up for that. Or the marketing stuff, certainly not everybody's up for that or wants to figure out how to do it. It's amazing and awesome if you can. But the business is still for people that not that comfortable with technology.
Yeah, the whole time I was like, I'm sending people to Symmetry's website, and where does that quote go?
Where does it go?
And then I saw Amy's website, and I was like, wait a minute, we can do that. Let's do that right now. And that's good that the technology is there. I really just had to kind of sign up for it, tweak a few things, work with the tech support folks, and they got it together.
That's awesome. And 6 months ago, that wasn't available. Like, they are working behind the scenes really hard to make technology better for us. They're very agent focused. And this company's pretty big. I mean, we have 7,000 agents, I think, right now. And
7,000 agents.
There's about 1,000 every week turning in most of the business. I would say about 1,000 are doing, but there's 7,000. There's a lot of people do it part-time. And I've personally met the founders many times. I just recently went to Casey Watkins' house and got to know him and his wife, Sarah, better, and just got to pick their brains. And he's super creative. He didn't just wake up wanting to be an insurance guy. He wanted to make the world a better place, and he found insurance, but highly creative. They just have created this beautiful dream life for themselves, and they're really good people. I mean, they continually focus on the agents. So the more you guys get to know the founders too, the more confident I feel you'll feel about their decision. They're really good people, and it shows.
Okay.
And our agents. Our agency on Monday, we're having Brandon Ellison, his wife, Meredith, who's also one of the original founders. She's going to be on our agency call on Monday. So we're going to have the big man's wife. And she's a big part of the culture. She does a lot of the women's initiatives, and they do a lot of the charity work, and just kind of help the team feel unified and have a strong culture, really grounded in principles too. They're very principle oriented people, because what they've created is precious. It's not that common, and it needs to be protected. And I know there are some
women's organization. I remember they mentioned it at the boot camp yesterday.
Yeah, they're calling it the Ripple model, and there's 3 or 4 components to it. It's not just the women's thing. But it's really about the self-development, just empowering yourself and becoming a leader, and also taking care of the community, and a lot of good stuff. It's so much more than insurance.
Empowerment, so you can take care of the community, which empowers the community.
Yeah. Imagine that.
I knew it. I knew you would.
Well, and I want to see everybody be, imagine empowering multiple communities, and this is what they're doing around the country, right? Where it's multiple communities, like you guys are going to empower your community. I'm going to empower Boise, Idaho, and whoever else gets to be in my sphere. It's a platform. It's a leadership platform. And empowering a lot of things. Because when good people have money, there's so many good things we can create and do with that money. When bad people,
what you really are, it brings out more of what you really are. So if you're a good person, you'll have more opportunities to display or connect with being a good person. If you're a bad person, then you'll be a bad person with money, and so it just makes you more. It brings out more of what you really are.
Yeah.
So true.
And that's a word.
That is a word. Get that through your heads, people.
I got one final question. Actually, two questions, to be honest. The first question, this is kind of, it's still on the subject, but how do you handle, this is something that I've always been curious about. It's something that I kind of have to deal with at work too. How do you handle having those difficult conversations with the clients, surrounding life insurance? Because a lot of people, from what I've seen and experienced, they just, some of them will just flat out say, I don't want to talk about that right now. I don't want to think about that. So how do you handle those type of conversations?
It's a mindset thing. For me to get my mindset right, on my goals for 2023, one of the bullet points says to own my professional persona. It feels like a persona. I put on a business coat. I don't literally, but it's more of like a mindset. And then when I show up with my clients in the right mindset as a professional, then I show up much more confident, just as a doctor would with all the letters after their name, delivering bad news or good news. We insurance people, we are professionals, and we have to own that persona. And I believe that confidence comes through when you have the right mindset, and it helps with the way it's delivered, and it helps with the way it's received. And for me, with my creative entrepreneurial background, where I just wear flip-flops and jeans and a tank top every day, I had to shift into professional mode with this business. We are talking about their finances, their mortality. Yes, we get declines and there's bad news. But as a professional, I find that when I'm in that mode and that persona, I can deliver it better, and then it's received better. It's not like the weak version of me, which I've definitely identified with many times in my life, where I'm like, oh, I got to play small, not to step on any toes. I have my own issues to overcome. When I let that go and I don't let that energy come up, then it's really well received. But if I'm also oh, I'm sorry you didn't get approved, if I just play weak, it's just not well received. They don't want it. They don't trust me. They don't want to refer me to a friend. And in the beginning, there was all these little things around the energy of how I was delivering, what I delivered and who I thought I was and who I needed to be. There was a gap, right? So I had to really step into this persona. And I think people sometimes feel like they're not worthy of being that professional person, or they're not really, or it's what do they call it? There's a term for it where the imposter syndrome, I guess, where you kind of have to. It's a thing. Yeah. So I think I've worked through that and shifted it. And I think that's how I handle that. It's just being a different person and speaking in a different energy. Yeah.
And then also I was going to ask, as far as anybody who's interested in getting life insurance and they, just don't know how to go about it, or they don't know, how to approach it, or any information on it, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who's interested in purchasing life insurance?
You need an agent, right? So your website, Carmine, is communiverseinsurancegroup.com.
That's right.
That's where they go, right? So go to contact Carmine, contact an agent, right? You need somebody who pours over this. This is what you're out doing your life. Well, I'm learning about life insurance so that when I show up in your life, I'm ready to go. So find an agent. This is a good agent, right? Somebody that actually cares. There are a lot of agents that write 3 to 5 products, and they just only like get people in the products they're comfortable with. Well, we have a lot of places to look. And as I said before, we have a lot of people in our agency. So there's a lot of support. If I don't know something, there's 200 other people that I could ask to find out. So really, they need someone that cares about them. If their agent's plugged in, learning, and actually cares about them, they're going to find the best solution for them. So yeah, get an agent, go to Carmine's website. We would love to tackle your file and help you get the best product. Carmine and I are working together a lot to get the right product. But yeah, get an agent. If you're just going to go online, there's a good chance you're not going to get the best deal. I mean, you might get something, but yeah, it's much better to have a lot of places to look.
It is much better because even just becoming an insurance agent, you start learning all kinds of stuff that you never even knew about insurance. Like, I mean, even just taking the exam, you start learning stuff. But getting the practice of it, like, oh, I didn't know that life insurance could do this. I didn't know that there was certain policies within life insurance or components of it that you actually have to have a health license to.
I know.
But like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So yes, get an agent. Go to the website, communiverseinsurancegroup.com. As soon as you go there, it's going to say, hey, request a quote, set up a consultation. I'm not going to like beat you down and pressure you or anything like that. It's to make sure that we are serving you correctly, so you don't look up 10 years later and wonder what does this side have, and you're like, oh, I'm paying this for that. And no, it's about making sure that you get what is important to you and your family.
And that's a word.
That is a word. I'm going to start saying that.
This has been a really good conversation. Getting close to wrap up time, but we want to do something. We always used to like to play this or that with our guests. So basically what it is we got a list and we're just going to ask you questions. And the first thing that comes off the top of your head, we're going to ask you this or that. So again, for instance, Pepsi or Coke or something like that.
Okay. To be random. I'm ready.
Fun. We always have a good time with this.
Mm-hmm.
You want to ask some questions? You got it?
Let's see. What is that word? TV or movies?
Movies. Definitely.
Take out or eat out?
Oh, 50-50. Anything but me cooking.
Hot weather or cold weather?
Oh, hot weather by far. Yep.
Since you at the at the thing, beachside resort or hillside cottage?
Oh, wow. Only because I'm ready for some cottage action. I'm going to go hillside cottage.
On the hillside.
Yeah.
Audiobook or ebook?
Oh, audiobook.
Yeah, I'm
hard to focus on.
Starting to get more to the audio now. Yeah.
Me too. You can multitask.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
While you're driving or working out or whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. This is a big one. Serious. Ninjas or pirates?
I'm sorry. I answered for her. I'm sorry.
Oh, I missed it.
He said ninjas or pirates.
Ninjas or pirates.
And I accidentally gave my answer, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't hear it, but I am immediately thinking ninjas. Okay. I mean, pirates are known for like being terrible. So ninjas, maybe there's more discipline in that. I don't know.
All right.
That's a good one.
This has to do with what we had for breakfast. Pancakes or waffles?
Oh, waffles.
We had waffles.
Oh, good. I like to load up the fruit on them.
Mm-hmm. What you got?
I don't know. Well,
paper.
All right. Tacos or burritos?
Oh, both my two top favorite foods of all time. So I would go burritos. But I mean, that's a tough one. I love them both.
What about Doritos?
How about Doritos tacos?
Doritos Tacos Locos. Yeah.
I'm sure Doritos are full of GMOs and all that. So I know it's not good, but I love red Doritos. I freaking love them. I've eaten a whole bag of them, like a family size. I'm not proud of that.
I've eaten a whole bag of Doritos.
It happens.
Have you? I was just hungry.
Wait a minute. We went through that one bag. What was that? It was not too long ago. It was a few weeks ago or something. And we felt really bad about that.
The store is
the shame
away from us.
Yeah.
It was gone by the time we got back.
Okay. Let's see. Do you like to work out?
No. I dance. I do a static dance and I walk.
Okay.
That counts.
I was gonna ask. Okay, so let's do another one. Tulips or sunflowers?
Oh, let's go tulips on that one. I love flowers though.
Flowers are nice.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with the sunflowers on that one.
Yeah.
What is this?
What? I don't know what that is. We're not gonna worry about it.
We're gonna ask that.
It says cronuts or croffles. It sounds like it's like a play on donuts and waffles, maybe.
Cronuts. If it's donuts, I'm in donut camp by far.
Man, look here, donuts. Don't mention donuts. That's like my favorite bad food that I'm not supposed to eat.
I know. I like the jelly ones.
I'll take most donuts. There's not too many donuts I don't like.
But me too.
That is my forbidden food that I'm really not supposed to eat.
It's so good.
So yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Last one.
Oh, one more.
Shower or bath?
I love baths. All about it. Pretty much every night.
It's got to be a big deal. Like you break out the candles.
You gotta have a candle.
Shower.
I do all that.
Me, but bath time. We relaxing. Being there for about an hour.
Me too. Well, Idaho's cold. That's the only way I can feel warm at the end of the day. So I put on a podcast, put on candles, bath almost every night.
I don't know nothing about Idaho except for you and Darren.
It kind of.
Do you all have in Idaho? Does it get real hot or?
It has all 4 seasons. It's been just abnormally cold month after month. So I'm over it. We moved to Catalina for the month and it's like 60s here. And apparently it's like 80s in Idaho. So we can't seem to get the warm weather. But
now y'all want to get 80s.
I know.
Hey, well,
Houston,
it's like one day it's 60s and then the next day it's like 95.
Yeah. Houston does not screw around.
Most of the time it's 95. We started getting those 90s
when it gets kind of like the weather's kind of all over the place. Like January and February, even December, January, February, you just never know what you're gonna get. You can get 40s or 90s. It just
oh my gosh.
So yeah.
And that's a word.
Well, it was really, 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 really good speaking with you today, Melanie. Before we let you go, tell everybody if there's anything special that you have going on or where they can find you, if they want some information from you, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Go to workinsurancenow.com if you are interested in working with our agency. If you do, just let me know that you came in through this podcast. So you'll be direct to Carmine. You'll be on our team though. And yeah, this opportunity is available to everybody willing to do the work. That's kind of the beauty, of this business. It's available to everybody. But even if that's not of interest to you, I really hope people found value because it's not even really about insurance. At the end of the day, to be successful and to create a life that you love, it is about having the right mindset
All right. Thank you so much. Again, it was a pleasure. And tell everybody where they can find us. We got a lot of different places to be found, I guess.
You can find me. I'm not going to sing that song, but you can find me on Facebook using my name, Carmine Matlock, and you can find me on Instagram as well, and TikTok, carmine.sfglife.
And you can find us here on YouTube. At Free Your Mind and a Restful Follow podcast, and also on our Facebook page, Free Your Mind and a Restful Follow. And also you can find me on my fitness and natural hair care page. Well, now it's turning into a natural hair care page and lifestyle page, which is Coach Coco Lifestyle and Coach Coco Fitness and Lifestyle. And where else? We got some other stuff, and I can't think of it right in the moment. We have the Communiverse page as well.
The Communiverse Facebook page.
Yes. Yeah. Find us there as well. And I believe that's it. And you can find me also on Instagram, Coach Coco _PT, and on TikTok, same name. So yeah.
On the TikTok.
And I guess at that, it is time for us to wrap it up. So we're gonna get on out of here. And you got some final thoughts?
Do have final thoughts.
We wrote them down.
Nice.
What's your final thoughts?
All right. As we wrap up this podcast, let's reflect on some key takeaways that can help us understand the significance of life insurance as a financial tool in our lives. Life insurance serves as a protective measure, offering financial security and peace of mind to individuals and their loved ones. It allows us to safeguard our family's future, ensuring that they continue to meet their financial obligations, even in the event of our untimely demise. Don't leave your family on the side of the road selling barbecue to try to come up with funds to bury you. In other words, life insurance is the move.
Yep. Get you some life insurance. You know you need it. But remember, success is not just about reaching the destination. It's about the journey you take to get there. And along the way, you will face challenges, encounter setbacks, and experience moments of doubt. But it's in those moments that your true character is revealed. So please keep pushing forward. Even when the road seems tough, embrace failure as a stepping stone to success and just let it fuel your determination. And surround yourself with positivity, believe in your abilities, and never underestimate the power of your dreams. That's all we have for you today. It was a pleasure. See you all later. Peace.